In this video, why you don't need to travel with a belt. The inspiration for this video, I put up a tweet. I said, pro travel tip, don't travel with a belt. I listed my reasons and we got back some funny responses. So in this video, I want to expand on this idea of not traveling with a belt, of living a beltless life, if we can go so far. So we'll expand on this idea a bit. And I promise you this isn't like a Passport Bros video or something. This actually comes from my own personal experience where for a period of time, I traveled without a belt for like 3 years straight. A huge part of my nomad journey, I simply did not own a belt. I now have a belt. Don't worry about it, guys. I have a leather belt. It's all right. I'm not totally anti-belt, but I'm just letting you know it's possible. This is kind of just like a cheeky video, but I'll explain my reasoning in the video. So the background is, at one point I had a corporate job that involved corporate travel. And you go to the airport, you're wearing your khakis, you're wearing your belt, you're wearing your dress shirt, you're going through airport security, and you have to take your belt off. And I remember looking around and seeing like salt of the earth, 50-year-old guys, like the old, Southern guy, well-to-do, made it in life. And they're making these guys take their belt off, even if you're flying first class. And I always thought it was just demasculinating, if that's a word. You know what I mean? Dehumanizing. I just thought it was ridiculous that they made you take your belt off. And I kind of quickly learned that what you should do, and I think even to this day, what you should do as a traveler, as a digital nomad, is put your belt in your luggage so that when you go through the airport, you're not wearing a belt so that you don't have to take it off at security. And so I started doing this. I was traveling a lot, and I would put my belt in the hard shell carry-on luggage. I travel with two pieces, a backpack and a hard shell carry-on, and I would put the belt in the hard shell carry-on. And that obviously was a huge improvement. Allowed me to, get through airport security without looking like an idiot. And so even to this day, I do that. I don't travel to the airport with a belt on. I put it in my luggage. But I kind of decided to take it a step further and just live a beltless life. I had pants that fit. I was wearing a lot of, at the time, these like Uniqlo, sort of like polyester dress pants where they look like dress pants, but they're like dry fit material. They're hard to find. But that's what I was rocking for a long time. And so they fit very well, and you didn't need a belt. And so I just stopped wearing belts. And so that was one less piece of luggage in the carry-on. Because as digital nomads, it really is important to look for places where you can reduce the weight of your luggage, where you can reduce the amount of things you have, just the sheer number of things. Because when you're traveling a lot, even traveling on a monthly basis, and you have to pack up your life and put it in a suitcase, it's really nice just to reduce the number of things that are involved in packing up your life. So let's just say you have 110 individual items if you include every USB cord and this and that. If you can get down from 110 individual items to, say, 60, 70 individual items, it's really going to reduce the mental overhead when it comes to packing and traveling and so forth. So I really look for ways to reduce the luggage and the overall sheer number of things that I'm traveling with, as well as the weight. And of course, belts are quite heavy as well. So anyway, I lived without a belt for like 3 years, and greatest time of my life. No, I'm just joking. I mean, it really didn't have much of an impact, as long as you're not a guy that needs to tuck in a shirt because you're not going to a corporate job. There's really no reason for a belt as long as your pants fit correctly. So I would wear zippered pants, pants that have zippered back pockets. That's another tip that I could probably make a whole video on. And I just simply wore them without a belt. Obviously, shorts don't have a belt either. And if you're in tropical destinations a lot, you're wearing shorts most of the time. And so you're really traveling with this belt that you're only using, a small minority of the time. If you're living in Playa del Carmen or, whatever, Santa Marta, somewhere in the Caribbean, you're not really going to be using a belt very much because you're wearing board shorts or, that kind of thing. You're wearing shorts basically the whole time, so you really don't need a belt either. And so there it is. So there's some of my reasoning for why you don't need a belt. One, you don't want a belt going through airport security. That's a must, even if you choose to travel with the belt. Two, you don't want a belt in your suitcase because it's heavy, and especially if you travel in tropical locations, you're really not going to be using a belt that much because you're not using pants that much. And then three, this is like risque, I guess, but it's in the tweet. So what I said was, this is advanced game, but if you go on a date, don't wear a belt. And I'll let you guys kind of run your imagination on why you don't want to wear a belt when you go on a date. I guess that's a tip for the guys. If the girls should wear a belt. But but anyway, so that's a bit of the reasoning. That's me expanding on this idea. Am I totally anti-belt? No, I have acquired a belt. Don't worry about my Latin life. We found a belt somewhere along the way, but just something you maybe have not considered. And we enjoy these sort of far-flung travel hacks that no one else is talking about. So something to consider. Maybe you might be interested in the beltless lifestyle, and if so, maybe comment on this video below. Let me know how much of a genius we are. But anyway, that's the video. Beltless travel. Don't travel with the belt. Hope you enjoyed it.